Hey, you guys, I have not been on here in a while to do a live video. So today I'm actually coming to you from a life insurance perspective. So who am I? I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the agency owner of Fusion Insurance Group. So excited to be here with you. And the reason I wanted to get on here and share a video is for so many reasons, right? But I've been a licensed life insurance agent for about 4 years. I was actually a broker, and I'll tell you the difference in a second. But this is my 4th year. And so today I made the decision to write solely with Senior Life Insurance Group. So excited that I did. I'll tell you why. And I've been grappling with that decision for several months. Well, probably since I got started with Senior Life. But what I wanted this video is about is don't lose money in life insurance. So there's some things I want to share with you on ways that you can avoid the pitfalls of losing money, losing time, losing steam, losing your enthusiasm as it relates to insurance sales. One thing I would recommend, and I think I've shared this in a previous video, but it's worth mentioning again, and it makes sense to mention again, is do your research about the team that you're considering partnering with, the people that you're considering going into business with, because there's so many shiny objects on social media. Oh, my word. No slight against anybody. Everybody has the market. Everybody has to do what they need to do to get their business up and going and off the ground, right? But you got to make sure that the people that you're following and that you're deciding to partner with, that they have integrity, right? And that their business, that they're really going to genuinely do what they tell you they're going to do. And don't partner with an insurance group or an insurance carrier just for the commissions, right? Because if you get in and you learn everything that you need to learn, you do everything that you need to do, that you're supposed to do, the money is going to come anyway. I'll share with you that in life insurance, there's a learning curve, right? Especially if you've never sold life insurance before, or if you've had a different type of selling background. So even with close to 30 years in sales and selling experience, I still had a learning curve, and I didn't feel confident for about my first year and a half, 2 years. And even now I still feel green sometimes, right? Because that's how it is when you're learning and when you're growing. But don't lose money selling going into the insurance profession. So one way that you can avoid losing money by getting started selling life and health insurance, or we're only talking about life insurance today, right? But one way you can avoid losing money, pick the right team starting out, right? Make sure you ask some tough interview questions. Make sure you know that you are the asset. Right. So initially, even though I know I'm an asset, I know I have value, I know I bring a certain skill set, right? What's that movie? I can't remember that movie, right? But I have a certain set of skills, right? So even though I had a skill set and knowledge and a wealth of knowledge that I was bringing to the industry, I still felt some kind of way about not having life insurance experience. But I need you to know you are the asset, you're the plug, you're the gift, you're the one, right? Because no agency, no organization, no company thrives without people, right? So that's number one. Do your research. Don't just look at the shiny objects online of people with their Lamborghinis, their red bottoms, their Louis Vuittons, right? Make sure if they're carrying a Louis Vuitton, you can prove that there's some money in it that they've earned from selling life insurance, okay? So that's number one. Number two, when you get ready to go to a company, talk to multiple people at the company, right? I feel like that's what I should have done better initially when I was trying to figure out a company to partner with and the direction to go when I got my life insurance license. I didn't know what I didn't know because I had never sold it before. So I didn't know anything about any company. And what happens is we can get online and then we'll read the bad press about, oh, they said this about that company and they said that about this company. But we really don't know. We don't know. Sometimes you just got to take a shot, right? The third thing so do your research. Number one, when you go to a company, interview a bunch of different people. The third thing is make sure that you're not captive, right? Make sure that they have multiple products that you can sell, and that if you choose to, you can sell with another company, right? Not saying you want to, but you just want to know that you're not bound by your hands and ankles, that you can't do something else. I only now, as of today, write with Senior Life Insurance. I'm excited about it. And so that's the fourth thing is there's riches and niches. right? So initially when I came in as a broker, and a few months back up until today, I've operated as a broker. And what I will tell you is that if you're new to insurance, that will pull you in a lot of different directions. It pulls your resources in a lot of different directions. I'm going to tell you how. It pulls your money in a lot of different directions, and you can lose money in a lot of different directions if you're a broker. And so I'm not saying that one way is bad or good. I'm just saying there's a way that's better. Okay. So as a broker, because you have a license that hangs with, let's say, an IMO, that's your insurance marketing organization, and your license hangs under there, and you can write with all these different companies. Well, initially that's going to sound great, right? It did to me. I was like, hey, I can write for this carrier. I can write for that carrier. I can make sure that my clients can get protected hither, there, to and fro, right? All over the place. But what happens is, if and when people cancel their contracts at those different carriers, you're going to have chargebacks at multiple carriers. Well, that's not such a bad thing if you're writing business after business after business and your business pays for the chargebacks over time. But let's say you have a random contract out here, like I had one with Royal Neighbors. I only wrote 2 policies with Royal Neighbors. And so that meant that if I never wrote any other policies with them, and I ended up getting chargebacks over there, I had to pay for them out of pocket because I didn't have enough sales to go and cover them. So as you're coming into the insurance industry and you're thinking about who should I partner with, where should I go, make sure that you focus on your niche. What is your niche going to be? And how do you determine and decide on your niche? It depends on your why. But I'll talk about that in a second. Let me write myself a note, because I'll keep talking and forget. The other thing as a broker is, when you build a team, if you decide that you want to build a team, because in insurance, not only can you get paid residuals, not only can you get paid renewals, you're going to get paid on overrides if and when you build a team, right? So when you decide to build a team, and let's say you bring people on board, because I have a lot of times people that reach out to me here from on YouTube, and a lot of people I've recruited or sponsored or partnered with have come from YouTube, right? And my personal sphere of influence. So when you have people that come on board from your team and they start writing with all the carriers, if you're a broker that you can write with, if they write bad business or if they write good business, but the good business falls off the book and they have a chargeback, guess who it rolls up to? It rolls up to, good Lord, like Fort Bragg. I don't know if it's Fort Bragg or somebody on our roof. It's loud outside of my office, right? But if they have a chargeback and they leave, it rolls up to you. So when you're a broker, it puts you in a liability position as it relates to growing a consistent income, right? Just scrolling this personal experience. I'm not saying good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, only my experience and why I chose and have chosen to just write with Senior Life. So after that, so after you figure out, okay, do I want to be a broker or do I want to be an agent? What do I want to focus on product wise? So if you write a term insurance product, you get paid one time, right? Whatever your contract is, whether it's 60%, 80%, 70%, 90%, 100, whatever it is, you get paid that one time, your 9 months or 75% up front, and you never get paid again. Well, if you like selling term insurance because sometimes people feel like it's easier, or there's one company out there that says buy term and invest the difference, and that's what you want to do, you can do that, but I don't recommend it, right? Because when you work with a company where you buy term and invest the difference, you have a cap on your income because there's a cap on how much you can make per sale, right? No matter if your check was going to be $1,800 or $2,000, your cap is going to be whatever they say it is, and it's normally under $700, right? So you don't get all of your money up front. Then if you want to move up in rank, you have to recruit. Well, what if you're not a builder? What if you don't want to recruit people? What if you just want to make money on your own pen? Because when you get a life insurance license, it's a license to print money, right? Because if you're serving people, you're going to get paid. So if you're with a company that says, hey, in order for you to move up in the commission percentage splits, you've got to recruit, and that's not your strong suit, and that's not what you want to do, then you're limited. So you got to ask these questions up front. What is the requirement for me to move up? Because you don't want, this video is about how do you avoid losing money when you start selling life insurance, or how do you avoid losing money when you're an insurance agent, okay? So you got to find out what does your company or the company you're looking at promote? What do they push? what is what are the things they're not saying, right? Because initially everyone's going to tell you all the good stuff. Hi, hello. They're going to tell you everything is great, right? Come over here, all the money that you can make. Come over here, we have the high comps. Come over here, we have all the training. And that may be true. But then how does that relate to you? Who's going to hold your hand? Who's going to make sure when you have questions, when you're with a client, who's going to make sure you're trained? Who's going to make sure you have role play? Who's going to make sure you have good leads? That's the fifth or fourth thing. I forgot what number I'm on. How do you avoid not losing money when you decide to sell life insurance? You got to go somewhere where they have excellent leads or an excellent lead source, right? So at one brokerage where I was, again, today is my first day writing specifically, strictly at Senior Life. I've been writing with them anyway for the last, I think, since August, 4 months, right? Up until that, I was writing with a bunch of different carriers as a broker, right? So what I found is that at Senior Life, because they have television leads, live transfer leads, Facebook call-in leads, Facebook leads, telemarketing leads, and mailers, they have, to me, some of the best leads in the industry. And that's what matters, right? It doesn't matter if you're on 150% contract if you're not making any money, because that's what people will use as a carrot, right? They'll dangle the hype, the carrot, come over here for the high contract. You get there and the leads suck, right? Or you're having to call leads in an industry that's no longer thriving. So you want to find out, what is their focus? What is their specialty? What do they do and what do they do well and better than anybody else? Well, my niche is whole life and final expense, right? So because I niche in whole life and final expense, I want to be with the number one life insurance company specific to seniors and for seniors that I can be with. And to me, that's Senior Life. There's no territories. There's no limitations on what state I can sell in. I have no product limitations. They have term life products if you want to sell it. But again, there's riches in the niches, right? So if I only sell term, which I don't now, term, you get paid once. When you're thinking about, okay, what do I focus on? What do I want to specialize in? A lot of people focus on index universal life. The challenge with an IUL policy, Garlanda's thought process, maybe not the truth for you, is that it's too risky for the client, in my opinion, at the end, right? And so I know people will say, but not if it's structured properly, not if you structure it right. But I don't want to be concerned with, I put my client in a position to not have death insurance or a death benefit because I didn't understand structuring. Now, if you're great at it and you want to specialize in that, do it. But I personally don't. But keep in mind, even with the index universal life, that's based on a term policy, right? That's based on a term product. So I don't specialize in term. I specialize in whole life final expense. So therefore, that's not a niche I want to be in, right? Then there's people that want to focus on infinite banking. Nothing wrong with that either, but I'm not great at math. I suck at math. I have a degree in marketing, right? So I have a degree in business administration. I cannot add. I can add up some commissions. You give me a calculator. If you give me $20.08 and I owe you change, I'm pulling out the calculator. Right? Let's just be honest. So whatever your skill set is, and I'm saying that jokingly, they have software that does that stuff, right? But if your skill set and your strength is infinite banking, do that, but pick a niche. So how do you avoid losing money in life insurance sales? Don't focus on everything under the sun. And as a broker, that's what I was doing. If I had 8 to 12, I probably had 8 to 12 carrier contracts, maybe 10. I had to know all those carriers. I had to keep charts for every carrier. I had to keep height, weight, and build charts for every carrier. I have to know what I make on every product for every carrier because not all products pay the same. I had to keep up with contracting for every team member, right? And so it's a lot to keep up with if you're going to be a broker. As an agent today, literally when I was canceling my carrier contracts with not American Amicable, with Transamerica and United Home Life and all those different carriers, Corebridge, Ethos, when I was canceling the contract, I literally felt a sigh of relief. Why? Because I don't have to keep up with all that stuff. So don't come into life insurance sales feeling like you have to do all those things because people tell you you can sell this and you can sell that, and they sell you hype, but you don't focus on anything and you don't master anything, so you don't make all the money that you could. think about what it is you really genuinely want, and then you connect with a team and an organization that will help you figure out a blueprint, write the plan, vision, make it plain, and get to where you want to go. Okay. The reason I focus on whole life and final expense, and specifically with senior life, is because I get paid my renewals, right? I get paid my residuals. And as I'm building a team, which we are, so if you're interested in partnering with a team, I want you to interview us, right? Not am I just interviewing you, you come interview me too, right? Then we're going to get paid on our overrides. They have 8 ways that you can get paid at senior life. If you decide to go into leadership, you can get paid in stock ownership in the company. Okay. But let's talk about the renewals, right? So a lot of times when you go to contract with different carriers, you don't see your contracts up front. What happens is they send you a contracting link. You go to complete that contracting link, and it's not until after you've signed it and it's uploaded into your email after you've signed it that you're like, oh, that's how much I get paid on. So I don't get paid my full amount on this product, which is fine. Every carrier's like that, right? But guess what? It was the other day when I was writing a product with I forget who, with American, I was doing training with one of my new agents on American Amicable. And we were looking at the product list, and I was like, okay, go here to look at your contract. So as you're looking at your contract, you can see if you write this product, how much you get paid on this product. If you write that product, how much you get paid on that product. And as we were looking at the contract, I noticed that there were no renewals. What the crap? Where are the renewals, right? Because over here at Senior Life, you get paid, you're vested from day one. And now, mind you, I was writing with Senior Life and I was writing with the other carriers too, up until today. So when I saw that there were no renewals, I'm like, okay, so this company over here that I have my broker license with, they're keeping my renewals, right? Because why are there no renewals in the system? Make it make sense. And so as I'm looking at apples and half an apple, because there's kind of no difference between there's a big difference, I'm sorry, between Senior Life and their final expense plan and what this other company is offering. There's a big difference, right? So I'll say apples and oranges. So as I'm looking at the contract and I'm training my agent, I'm noticing that we get no renewals for any of the whole life legacy products and final expense over at that carrier. But over here at Senior Life, no matter what product you sell, you get paid renewals from year 1 to year 5, or year 2 to year 5, or year 2 to year 10. Every product you get your renewals. That's how it should be. So that means that every year when that customer, that business stays on the book, every time the year starts over, you get a re-up of the renewal, and it pays anywhere. I'm just making up a number because I'm not looking at my contract, but let's just say it pays anywhere from 4% to 25% renewals, depending on your contract, depending on the product. Because everybody gets the same percentage in terms of renewals. Now, you may come in at a different contract level, but everybody gets paid their renewals. And so that matters. That's how you can lose money in the life insurance industry, not knowing. So that was my second company before coming to Senior Life that I was with, where they were keeping my renewals. Right. And so then your overrides, because you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I'm over here thinking that I got 120% contract over here at this IMO. And I'm like, oh, yes, 120%. Come through, Jesus. But then 120% is costing me my money long term. And so when you come into the life insurance industry, you want to think, yes, you're in it for the short gain to get your money today, where you can get paid within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes same day, depending on products that you sell. But also long term, that's why people come into life insurance sales, is for the residuals, the renewals, the long-term money, right? So you don't want to lose money in the insurance industry not knowing what you don't know. So as you're looking for companies to partner with, think about, what do you want your niche to be? And so let me tell you another reason why I believe you should look at whole life and final expense versus mortgage protection. Right. So what is mortgage protection? Mortgage protection is an insurance policy. It's just life insurance. Mortgage protection is just a marketing term, right? So mortgage protection is a life insurance policy. Normally it's term life that someone can take out. And then when that person dies, it pays off their house, or it pays off a portion of their house, or it covers the mortgage. Any insurance policy can cover the mortgage. Again, that's just a marketing term, right? But mortgage protection normally is term. Let me tell you why. If it was me and I was going to be with a company and that's their focus is mortgage protection, I would run for the hills. I wouldn't do it. Just Garlinda's. I started out 4 years ago with a company that's what their specialty is, mortgage protection. Well, then it was fine because it was during COVID. The housing market was gangster during COVID, even post COVID, right? You know, y'all remember seeing lines out the door and down the street during COVID when people were buying houses. So that meant that mortgage protection sales were at an all-time high because the real estate industry was at an all-time high. Speaking from a 16-year real estate veteran, okay? So it was at an all-time high. So now if you go to try to sell mortgage protection, even mortgage protection leads are going to be hard to come by. Why? Because nobody's refinancing. Because why? Why would they refinance from 2 to 3 to 4% to go get a 6 to 9% interest rate? That makes no financial sense, right? The housing market sales are slow. When I say slow, like total slow, slug slow. What's that other little creepy animal that goes really slow? Sloth slow. That's not say that really fast, but that's how slow the housing market is. So because mortgage protection leads and mortgage protection insurance, most of the time lead wise is tied to the housing industry. I'm going to give you some statistics, right? 500,000 mortgage lenders left the mortgage industry last year. So how many mortgage leads do you think exist? 90% of the mortgage industry left the position last year. 19% of the housing market is down. We have 19% fewer sales this year than we did last year. 60,000 realtors across the board left the industry, right? So 60,000 realtors left, 500,000 mortgage lenders left, and the market's down 20%. Do you want to specialize in mortgage protection? No. So when you're thinking about that and people are saying, come over here, we got mortgage protection leads, come over here and sell term, you got to know what you're getting into. And if you don't know the industry and you don't really know the devil is in the details, right? If you don't really know the details, that could cause you to go somewhere and waste time and money. And I don't want you to do that, right? So that's why I'm sharing this video. So then what is the largest population of people in the entire United States, really in the world? It's the baby boomer. There's 10,000 boomers. That's somebody said that's a derogatory term. So there's 10,000 people that fall into the baby boomer industry daily coming into the market. They own the greatest transfer of wealth in the United States in terms of real estate. They're the greatest wealth owners in terms of their retirement accounts. They are the wealthiest in terms of their assets, and they are the ones that had life insurance policies back in the day that now are coming to maturation. Let's say it was a term life. Now those policies are maturing where they find themselves as seniors saying, Lord, I got to get some permanent coverage. I need a permanent insurance policy, something that's going to go with me until they pass away, that they can leave, that's building and growing cash value. Term does not grow cash value, whole life does. Final expense does. Burial plans pay for burial insurance, right? So what sets senior life apart, and why I was like, and I've been in prayer about this. I'm like, Lord, okay, should I go all in over here at senior life? And the decision was freaking me out. I'm not going to lie, because remember, I told you I could write any policy over here with all these different carriers. And no matter what my client asked for, I had a whole buffet to choose from, right? But it's very stressful to keep up with all these different characteristics when you're in insurance. And so I realized there's things that matter to me, and you got to think about what matters to you, for you and your family, for your business. One, I care about culture, right? I don't care necessarily. I care about the money, yes, because I like money. It ranks right up there with air and oxygen. The word of God said money answereth all things. So if she's answering all things, I need her to call me, right? So I don't want to make an assumption. I don't want to make it seem like the money doesn't matter, right? But I'm not chasing the money. Why? Because our blessings will overtake us. What matters is culture, because if you work with people that have integrity, you work with people that have high culture, that have a great culture, you work with people that value people, that value team, you're going to have success. They're going to show you the fastest way to success with integrity, with capability, with skill set. They're going to sow into you. They're going to nurture you. They're going to give you their knowledge, and they're not going to hold anything back from you that will prevent you from having great success. So first off, I'm looking for culture. Secondly, I'm looking for willability. Can I scale this business and can I leave it to my family? Right. So most insurance companies, a lot of them will say, well, you can will your book of business to your family. Show me that in writing. Right. Because remember, I told you sign your contract with these brokerages, you sign your contract, you don't know what the thing is saying until after you get a copy of it, you've already signed. And that doesn't mean you're stuck, but it's not, you can't negotiate it. Right. So I'm looking for willability, scalability. What can I scale? Can what I'm doing be duplicated? Right? Because if what you're doing can't, and if you're deciding to grow an organization and you want to build a successful business, but it can't be duplicated, then it's still only you and you. Right? So I need something that I've been a self-employed business owner for 34 years, 36 years technically. I'm gonna tell you the difference of those 2 years in a second. I was a self-employed business owner for 34 years. If you know anything about Robert Kiyosaki and the cash flow quadrant, it has these 4 quadrants, right? There's employee, self-employed, investor, and then business owner, right? So if you're an employee, you already know that right off the rip, 38% of your money is going to taxes, right? If you're self-employed, right off the rip, you know that if you don't work, you don't eat. You can never get away from it, right? So that means that you don't ever have a day off because the business depends on you. You're self-employed. You're your own employee. That's what self-employed means, right? So I've been my own employee for 34 years. Good Lord. No wonder I have gray hair, right? You can't see it because it's colored, right? So I came into real estate with fewer wrinkles and gray hair, right? But it's been worth it. I'm not even complaining. I'm totally joking, but it's the truth, right? So now I'm a business owner. Why? Because I own this business. I own my book of business. I'm building a team. Therefore, I generate overrides when my team has production. Now I had to start building all over again. These are the things you want to think about when you're coming into life insurance sales. There's a lot of money that can be made, but you got to know, okay, what's my goal? What's my focus? What do I want? So you become a business owner. That means that if you're growing a team, if they're working and let's say you're out of town, you're still profiting from your business because now you've moved from the self-employed quadrant to the business owner quadrant. Then you can take that money and do what? Invest in other things. Now you're an investor. And then when you become a shareholder in your company or a stock owner in your company, now you're an investor because every time the company profits, you profit. Every insurance company does not have that. Right. So that's why you want to make sure that you're not losing money and leaving money on the table when you start partnering with these life insurance companies that promise all these big things. And then you get there and you're like, what the crap? Like, this is some crap. I've had that experience. Right. That's why I'm sharing this video today. I don't want that to happen to you. So write down what it is that you want, even if you don't necessarily know what you want, but write down some really great questions for them and think from this perspective with them. What's in it for me? Right? Ask them, what's in it for me? I know that you say that you want to do this and you want to do that and you're growing this and your team's doing this, but what's in it for me as an individual? Because I'm coming here with my own goals and dreams, right? And so those are the things I would encourage you so that you don't lose money in the insurance industry. Also, leads, invest in leads. Right. I don't care how much you see on the internet about, oh, leads, boo, his leads so expensive, leads bad, leads are good. Leads are the only way that you're going to have a chance at bat to get your business off the ground, to get your business going. And you're going to have to invest in yourself, right? The greatest investment you would ever make is in you, Inc. Right? I'm a great investment in myself because either I'm going to make the money or I'm not. Either I'm going to do the work or I'm not. I can't depend on anybody else to do it other than Garlinda. I'm my best investment, right? So you have to decide, are you your best investment? And then come into the business, invest in your leads. Don't buy any less than 20 to 30 leads a week because you won't be giving yourself enough opportunity, right? And a lot of people, and I felt this way, so I'm speaking all this from experience, don't leave money on the table and don't lose money when you're selling life insurance. A lot of people will only focus on, well, I can just build it from my warm market. You don't know enough people. It's 6,000 friends over on Facebook. I don't know all those people, right? But that's a way that you can market and you can get clients, but you can't build a sustainable, duplicable business on your warm market over time, right? Now you can marry warm market, social media market, along with your marketing with your leads. But when you get started initially, you got to give yourself a chance at bat. Invest in yourself. right? Invest in yourself, because what's going to happen is, let's say you spend 300 to 5, you might spend over 300, but let's say you spend $300 to $500 a week on leads starting out. Over time, those leads are going to pay for themselves through sales, and you're just recycling that same $350 to $500. Let's call it $1,000. You're recycling that same money over and over and over that you already spent. You're no longer putting new money into the leads. You're just reinvesting that same $300 to $500, right? But you're making money. You're gonna make it back. Okay, so I don't want to talk too long. I've already been talking for right at 29 minutes and 54 seconds. So I'm Garlinda Price. I am an agency owner with Fusion Insurance Group. I'm going to put my number down in the chat for those of you that will come back and see this video later on, but it is Garlinda Price, 910-494-7798. I'm licensed across the country. We are looking for you. We are building in your state. And there's a lot of states that have huge opportunity. And I'll tell you that this Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina. It's one more I can't think of. I want to say Michigan. I can't remember. Oh, wait, where's my phone? I can tell you. I had to text it to myself. Okay. But so much opportunity. What is it? It was Alabama. Oh, okay. Birmingham, Alabama, West Virginia, Nashville, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, North Carolina. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I'm in one of those states, definitely call me. But again, we're recruiting across the East Coast, West Coast, Southeast, Southwest. It doesn't matter. Give me a call and then interview me. I'm going to interview you and see if we're a great fit. And I want you to interview me to see if you're a great fit. We do have, if you're not licensed and you want to get your license, we have a free life insurance link, but please hear the caveat, because I get people call me all the time and then or text me and then they get mad, get attitude with me, right? The free link and the $29 link that we have is for people that are going to partner with us in business. If you're just online looking for your life insurance license and you're like, hey, let me call her because she's got a free link. It's for people that we've had a chance to talk to, interview, that they've interviewed us and they've decided, hey, this is what we want. You're who we want to work with. Then we will help you get your license. But we're just not out here giving away a free link with no conversation, no nothing, right? Because that's an investment, right? So we had to pay for the class. We had to build a relationship to establish the links. And now we're sharing the link with you. It's an investment. We're investing in those that we're going to partner with that are invested in coming and working and training with us and growing with us. Okay. So if you don't have your license and you want your license, there's a Calendly link in the description box. Click on there, schedule an appointment. You can text me, but I'm also, when you text me, I'm going to send you the Calendly link because we got to work according to a system. Okay. So schedule an appointment. The class, there's a free class, but think about this. The free class only gives you 30 days to take the whole course, pass the course licensing exam, and then your to pass the whole course exam. So if you don't finish in 30 days, I believe it would give you a limited extension of like 3 days. That's stress to me. But if you can finish it in 30 days, I say go for it. You really should aim to finish it in 14 to 30 days. But if you're someone that says, I'm not a great learner, or I haven't been in school since Jesus was a baby, right? Or you get test anxiety or class anxiety, then we have a class that's with licensed coach that's $29. It gives you 60 days to take the class. It gives you a free 30-day extension. So that's technically 90 days. You do not want to take that long to get your license, but just in case it does, then that's the $29 class. But I do not give those links out without an interview, without a phone conversation, without a, hey, what's going on? Why you want to get into sales? And if you call me, this is just a side note, and I don't mean any slight by it, but call me when you got your energy up, right? Because I have some people that call and say, yeah, I'm calling about that life insurance link. What? Like, if you're talking to me like that with the doldrums and with no energy, why on earth who would think that you'd be great calling a client like that, right? So if you're high energy, you don't have to have sales experience, but you just have to have some want, some get up and go, some good gumption, some grit. right? Some grit. I want this money. I want to be successful. I want to serve people. I want to help people. We can help you be successful and be great. Okay. So again, I'm gonna shut up after that. Thank you for your time today. That for those of you that took the time to listen. If my honey bunny's on here, hey Caleb Price. Caleb just got his life insurance license. That's my son. He's in training and he is 22 years old. There's another young guy on our team that we're part of. He's 19. Then there's another gentleman. One of our leaders is 47. I'm 56. There's a guy that's in the company that's blowing people out the water that's 65, right? So age does not matter. Background does not matter. You can be successful if you choose to be. And we're here to help you be successful, help you build and grow whatever it is you decide to grow. What's in it for you? Okay. So God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.